Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I want to start off by saying that any and all thoughts and opinions are just that, thoughts and opinions. In no way am I sharing professional advice when it comes to physical and mental health. These videos are simply for fun and to provide my thoughts on the topic. Do not send any hate to anyone I talk about, and please be kind in the comments.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to get some more foodie beauty content today. This one's actually just a pretty light and simple one by the looks of it. It's just her eating some soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. I don't think she talks about anything particular, so, it's nice to finally get into something that isn't overly dramatic and just over the top, dealing with exes or married women or feeders or, or the 100 other things we have to deal with between Foodie and Amber, but hopefully I can get through all this content and then I can start going back to the drunk live streams and stuff like that now that I feel a little bit better. It's been nearly 2 weeks, but I'm almost over it and I'm genuinely happy that I'm feeling much better. But I'm going to get into the video right now.
Well, hello guys, welcome back to another video. I know I look tired, I have no makeup on. Yes. And I have some grilled cheese and tomato soup today.
Alright, when it comes to the food and stuff like that, I'm not really going to falter too much because she's at least attempting to make something healthy and eat something healthy. The soup looks pretty good, and I wouldn't really say she needs 2 sandwiches, but as far as that goes, it's much better than, 10 pounds of rice or the 10-foot, sandwiches and everything else she has, or the KFC, or, all the fried stuff that she gets on a daily basis. I think it is much better than what she usually eats, so can't really falter too much for that. Hopefully she does keep it up, but I highly doubt it. She's going to go straight back to unhealthy food the very next day. Or probably the same day, honestly. Let's be real, it's Foodie Beauty, so not bad overall.
So, I made the tomato soup. I made it with, I'll tell you in a minute. I'm thirsty, so I need Diet Pepsi. Right from the freezer. Oh, bismillah.
Jesus, she's really going down in that drink, isn't she? She's guzzling that down.
That's good. And I'm trying something new today. I made my grilled cheese sandwich with Monterey Jack instead of the normal cheese I use, cheese slices. Because I want to see if I like it. So let's see here. Monterey Jack cheese, beauty bite. Beauty bite.
I understand the concept of a beauty bite, but I genuinely have not seen her eat a single bite and it not turn me off eating food. Like, honestly, every time I watch her eat food, it is kind of disgusting. And it's not just her, it's really anyone, especially when she eats and then talks with her mouth full. Like, you'd think a 40-year-old woman would know, to have a little bit of common decency when you talk. Just have no food in your mouth or just swallow and then talk. It's really not that hard. What the hell was with that stare and the zoom in? Like, God, her eyes dilated straight away as soon as you could see, like, the neurons in her brain just fire as soon as that cheese touched her taste buds.
Oh my gosh. That's so good.
Alright, calm down, it's just a grilled cheese. There's no need to be breaking out the moaning already.
Man. So, I tried to copycat like Campbell's recipe. So I steamed 2 fresh tomatoes to remove the skin. And I sauteed some garlic and olive oil, fresh garlic, 2 cloves.
Me personally, I don't really do anything fancy when it comes to soups and stuff like that. Stews I'll put a little bit more effort into because it is a little bit more expensive, but soups overall are pretty easy to make. You can just roast a bunch of stuff like that in the oven.
I added tomato paste, fresh tomatoes, a bit of sugar, some chicken bouillon, pepper, onion powder. I cooked it for a bit, blended it, added a bit of cream, cooked it a little bit, And here we are. Oh.
She is going in on that sandwich. Like, she's not even giving herself time to really breathe between the moments. She's just devouring that.
You might see me wear repeat clothes for a little bit because I packed a lot of my clothes.
Oh, we border crossing again?
I don't know if my new Temu order will get here in time, which will really suck.
Every video is the same with her. 2 words and then a bite of food. Like, please finish your sentence and then eat. It is not that hard.
But just like, none of the clothes from my previous order like fit right.
Now, I know for a fact that she's not going to be losing weight. She's going to be gaining weight, and that's why the majority of her clothes probably don't fit anymore. But at the same time, I don't really believe the idea that she's 340 pounds, and I think she said that around, I think it was a couple of videos ago now. She was like, what I eat at 340 pounds or something like that. And I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but I don't personally believe she's anywhere near 300. I think it's closer to 4, maybe even 5, because she's getting closer to looking more like Amber than what I really looks like at my highest weight. And yes, I know that I am close to being a foot taller than her. And on top of that, I'm also male, so my weight is going to be, distributed a little bit more evenly because of my height and because of, me being male. But she certainly does not look what I looked like when I was at my highest weight. And it's genuinely crazy to look at her, primarily because a lot of her weight is carried on her front and not her sides. Like, when she's on the side, her profile looks slimmer than what it does when she's looking more so front ways. Like, she does have a very large stomach, and it's not to shit on her. Like, I don't want to be that type of person, like, criticize someone's actions over the way they look, but ultimately, you eating all this fast food is contributing to you gaining this much weight. And the fact that you have to get more clothes because a lot of your clothes don't fit, and a lot of them are like dresses, or like, I think they're like, she calls them muumuus or whatever they are. A lot of those would be a lot easier to wear than like t-shirts and stuff like that. Especially she has like a lot of flowing gowns and stuff like that. That's what you wear in the Middle East. So the fact that you have to get more clothes is a little concerning.
So maybe like one undershirt.
Watching Foodie Beauty is actually really weird because she's very much like my nephew. He's like a toddler. He's like 2 years old, and watching her eat and him eat is very synonymous with one another. She is a little bit cleaner, a little bit, not much, but a little bit cleaner than he is, because he will usually end up with most of his food in his hair. But watching her like hold the bottle is like watching him hold a bottle drinking. It's a 1 for 1 for one, although it's crazy.
I need new clothes desperately. I hate going on vacation with no new clothes. So I'm like freaking out. I'm totally freaking out.
Yeah, I'm not really much of a vacation person myself because of my anxiety disorder. I pretty much prefer to stay home and rather just spend it with my friends and family that I know, and rather not go out and do new things because of the constant stress and stuff like that I put myself into. So it's understandable. On top of that, I'm kind of also in the same boat as Foodie, because I used to be someone who would have to constantly buy new clothes because I was overweight, and I constantly kept, going up and up and up. I got to the point where I was in 6, 7XL clothing, and now I'm down to a large or an extra large, depending on some brands. But now I'm having the opposite effect because I've got clothes that are 6XL that I wear basically to my knees because I just too cheap to buy new clothes.
But I can check what kind of like plus size clothes they have there.
Something she could have done is, if you're going to have to, leave the country relatively soon to go to a new place in order to reset your visa, why didn't you buy clothes beforehand? Like, if you can definitely feel clothes getting tighter. and you know, getting more uncomfortable as time goes on. So like, why didn't you do that beforehand? You know, you're just creating unnecessary stress on yourself. I'm just going to cut the next part out. There is 20 to 30 seconds of just dead air of just eating soup. So you guys don't need to see that.
So yes, we will be bringing the pets somewhere to be taken care of.
I would hope so. I mean, I would rather you guys, you know, put them in a place where they can be taken care of instead of just gallivanting around while they're at home fending for themselves.
I still like Campbell's more, but
Why would you prefer soup that is in a can over something that you made fresh? Like, either you're terrible at cooking or you have no sense of taste if you prefer canned stuff over something you made fresh.
I think you guys will be a bit surprised. Like, how is she going there?
I'm confused by this comment. Like, is there like, should we be surprised about a place you're going? Is there somewhere you're not allowed to go, or is there a place where, like, what exactly does that mean? Because I'm kind of confused. Like, is there a place in which someone who is Muslim is not allowed to go, or is there somewhere you can't go? Or is there somewhere that you are going that you were like, you personally were kicked out of or something like that? Like, I'm kind of confused. Like, I don't watch all the videos, so I might be missing something, but uh, it's kind of a weird comment, isn't it?
The fresh tomato is really good though, but it just tastes different.
Yes, that's kind of the point of making it fresh because it tastes better.
Than the canned. Like, does Campbell's not use fresh tomatoes? Or what? I'm not sure. But this is one of my favorite comfort meals. Soup and sandwiches in general, but
My personal take on the idea of comfort food, for at least like in Foodie Beauty's mind, is that it's not something you eat during a time in which you're having a bad time. Like you've gone through something emotional or something heavy. Like she thinks comfort food is almost like it's sort of how we categorize seasonal food or regional food based on the origins of where the food comes from. Like to her, it's not something you eat during a time period in which it's hard. It's just, oh, these are comfort food because this is what people eat to comfort themselves. Like, I don't think she has the proper understanding of what comfort food actually means because she says comfort food and she's eating it so much so that either she's in chronically depressed or she doesn't quite understand what the term actually means.
every time we go out and eat, or we did go out and eat, my mom would always get the soup sandwich if she had a choice. My grandma too. And now as an adult, I'm starting to like that more. As an adult, I've been an adult for like, how many years?
Yeah, I understand that. The older I get, I'm more like my dad, both physically, emotionally, and mentally.
Like 22 years. I don't feel like it.
Because you don't act like it.
I just change my moods a lot, change my mind a lot. So that's why if you ask me where I see myself in 5 years and I don't have an answer because I don't see really anything clear, because I never know with myself how I'm gonna feel. Like,
well, it really comes down to the mentality of, you know, planning for the future, and you're too indecisive and just impractical to really build anything for that. And it's sad to think about because we both know that Salah really is the type of person who's only going to be with you as long as you're bringing in money. And the moment that you no longer bring a sufficient amount of money in, he's already cheated on you multiple times, and he's already, you know, gone too far as, you know, sending certain photos and messaging people to bring people out. So it's not like he's going to really be faithful forever. It really comes down to the moment that you no longer are worth the trouble, he's going to just ditch you for someone else, and you're going to end up sad, destitute, and alone, because then you probably won't have the resources in order to look after yourself. And people are already getting to the point where they're just sick of dealing with it and they're moving on. So it's a very sad thing to worry about because, you know, what is going to happen in the next 5 years for you?
Oh, my sciatica hurts today. I wonder if it's my bed because it always hurts like when I wake up the most. But it's been hurting all day today.
I don't think it really has anything to do with the bed as much as the fact that you are overweight. You weigh 2 to 3 times the amount of weight you should, and you should be weighing less. You are in your 40s, and you are not getting any healthier because the older you get, the less likely you'll be able to lose weight, and your metabolism and stuff slows down. So you're doing permanent damage, and you're keeping the weight on, which is going to even cause even more problems. So it's not the bed. It really isn't the bed.
It's so annoying. So, anyway. I rubbed some cream on it. I hope that helps. Salon massages it, but it always comes back. It always comes back again. You guys ever see that movie? Sometimes they come back and sometimes they come back again. Stephen King.
Yeah, I am a huge horror fan, and I'd rather not get into it too much because otherwise I spend like hours talking about it. But Stephen King's got some really good books. Like he's got some pretty good bangers, and on top of that, I think some of them do have some unnecessary stuff, especially like it. There was like a particular scene in which I didn't really think was. It made me extremely comfortable reading it, so I'm kind of a little averse to reading some of his books. But he's got some pretty good ones, like obviously Carrie, and it, Cujo, Pet Cemetery, the Firestarter, the Roadwork. He did Christine and the Running Man and Rage. Is it Cycle of the Werewolf? I'm trying to think of some more of the other ones he's got. I think one of his earlier ones was it the Eyes of Dragon. I think that came out in like the 80s. The Eyes of Dragon, the Talisman. I'm pretty sure he did one in the 90s called The Half Dark and The Needful Things. He's got some really good books. Like, I'm trying to remember some of his other ones, but oh yeah, didn't you do Dreamcatcher too? Yeah, Dreamcatcher and The Colorado Kid for I think it was 2004 that came out. That was based around the TV series for Haven, which is kind of like a watered down version of Supernatural, which also I think is pretty good too. Like Supernatural is pretty decent. I think up until like season 4 or 5, it kind of falls off, but overall I think that's a really good series too. And I only just recently watched Jeepers 1, 2, and 3 again, and I love number one. Number one was, oh, as a kid, that terrified the hell out of me. And I remember also like Jaws. Like I did not go in the ocean for ages when I watched Jaws. Like it, looking back, it's terrible now, and I can't help but laugh about thinking how bad it is. But at the same time, it is such a cult classic, and that terrified me so much that I now cannot swim in the ocean without having, you know, always terrors of thinking about, oh god, the shark's gonna get me. But there are so many good just horror films and books that came out, especially like in the late 80s and like early 90s and even the 2000s. Oh, and 70s too, got some really good bangers. But I'll leave you guys here. Otherwise, I'm going to be spending the next hour talking about horror stuff. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.